Questions. What do I want with my life? What do I want to look like 5 years from now? How do I want to think? Do I want to run by my upper head, or do I want to run with my pure intentions of a gut feeling? How do I want to see this world? What do I want to teach my children? Where do I want to be in 3 years, 1 year, 5 years, 8 years? I don't think we have that long. I think it's going to be all over soon.
Right.
But ask yourself these questions like you're really interrogating somebody. Interrogate yourself. You may not have all the answers right away, but in quiet hours you will. You will find those answers. What do you like about you? What do you not like about you? What do you like about God? What do you not know about God? Ask questions that are going to create new avenues of intellectual imagination. Open them. Just open them. You're going to see amazing things. Look at Sheila. She looks so...
She's into it. Totally into it. And her daughter's writing. They're both taking notes.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
Olivia is curious of... She knows that she can't afford to do the detox right now.
yeah.
But she is curious of some things that she might be able to do. There's nothing that replaces a detox, first of all, but she's wondering if there's some health things that she could watch out for. But I think that he answered that question wholly by simply saying, eat this, don't eat that.
Yeah.
Well, how about, is there any home detox? Can she do is there other vitamins she could do that maybe she could get, good quality vitamins, maybe with the juices and all that?
I know.
Yeah,
let me answer this.
Sure.
Yeah. Sheila, I totally get it. Trust me. And I understand exactly what you're saying, because what you're speaking from your heart is she just doesn't have the money to do the detox, but she'd like to somehow detox something better than nothing. And I get that. This is body, mind, spirit, soul, emotion, spiritual connection with God, everything. What she can do, there are a few things that she can do, but it's not going to be detoxing thing. It's just going to be things that are a little bit healthier to do than what she was doing yesterday. And again, we go back to eat this, don't eat that. He tells a story of, if you have a dirty toilet, someone, used the toilet and never flushed it time and time again, never flushed it. And you go in there and you realize that it stinks and it's gross. Well, you wouldn't put a rose in there to make it smell better. You would flush it. So, detoxing, there's just nothing that equates to detoxing. And I renew my faith in the detox program every single time I do it, because even this time I eat quite clean, and we have chicken now and again, and I had a couple burgers when my friends were here, and I freaking had parasites. Wow, I'm so glad that I do the detox every 6 months, because something ends up in there. I can't imagine if I were to go and never do it. But anyway, can I say apple cider vinegar?
Yeah, definitely start her on the apple cider vinegar. If you do go in the direction of vitamins and minerals, stay away from tablets. Tablets will not break down very well. They have to break down with chewing, and most people take tablets just by swallowing. So they get into the stomach and they kind of sit there. I've had people who've done their liver dump and now come gallstones the size of your thumbnail and tablets because they get stuck in the liver.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't get processed, or they get stuck in the bile ducts and everything. But I've seen so many of those come out. So tablets only break down when you've chewed and you create stomach acid. But you can't take it like an herb. Herbs just go into your body and they go through your body. So if you can get anything that's in capsule form, that's your best bet. If it's in tablet, hard football tablet form, don't take it. There's soft gels. Soft gels are kind of questionable because we don't know quite where they're getting the gel from. We know that some say absolutely no animal in our gel, but there are other gel caps, most of them, are actually slime and residue from the slaughterhouses that they have to throw away, so they make gel caps to give to people to make them healthy. Okay? So stick with capsules, and when you take capsules, put them in your mouth, put your apple juice or whatever with them, swish them around, and when you swallow, don't put your head back. Put your head down. You put your head, your chin on your chest, and you look at your toes, and you swallow. Because this is the water level of what's in your mouth. You put apple juice, these capsules float. Veggie caps is what you want. Make sure they're veggie caps. In other words, they're just another piece of plastic. You get veggie caps. They float. And so when they're floating, they're right up here against the roof of your mouth. If you put your head back, the juice goes almost to the palate to go down, and the capsules float right up behind your teeth. So you swallow, the juice goes down, the capsules come last, and you get all kinds of esophageal sticking. But if you look down, now they're right at the back of your palate because they're floating back there. And you swallow, the capsules go first as soon as you start to swallow, and then comes the liquid, pushes it all the way through, and no esophageal sticking. That's why when I say you ask me questions, you're going to get long answers. I'm sorry, but I think it's very important that we understand we're not talking about a small episode of anything. If you're going to take vitamins, know the difference, right? It's just that way. So apple cider vinegar. The other thing she can do is juicing.
2 ounces of or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Make sure it's Bragg's. Make sure it's with Mother, and shake it up well every time you use it. 2 tablespoons in a big healthy bottle of water. Probably like, I don't know where mine's at to be able
Like
to tell
a quart,
you.
maybe a quart.
Yeah, a quart of water.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know when you taste it.
It's not terrible, but people just aren't used to healthy things, and they're definitely not used to things like something that's going to clean your body out, like Bragg's. Okay, Bragg's has been around since the 1800s, early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Bragg,
Mm-hmm.
and Wrigley from Wrigley's Gum, and Kellogg of Kellogg's Cereals. These 3 guys were just really good friends back in the early 1900s, and they actually decided they were going to make healthy food. So they created cereals. So Kellogg's went to cereals, and Bragg went to making apple cider vinegar. His daughter, Patricia Bragg, lives right around the corner from me when I lived in Santa Barbara for like 20 years. And this girl is 89 years old, and she marches every Cinco de Mayo, which is a big celebration in California, 5th of May, there's freedom for Mexico. And she marches the whole parade, and she's 89 years old, and she's dancing the whole way.
You'll do that. Show him these guns. He's 75 years old. Show him. Come on.
There's my guy. Stop.
Come on. Show. I know he's embarrassed,
detoxing. She's detoxing. She can't control this.
He's got an incredible
She is detoxing.
body.
Don't even get involved in that. I'm taken. So what? I told you she's the cute one. Okay, so what was the other thing? Oh, juicing. Do you have a juicer or do you have a blender?
We have a blender, but we're going to buy a juicer.
Okay, if you get a juicer, there's 2 types. One is centrifugal juicer. Don't get that. Don't get a centrifugal. You want a cruncher, a grinder. In other words, it has all kinds of teeth that just come in and grind against each other as your thing goes through. And then it gets more juice, and it doesn't become deionized. If you get a spinner, which most people do because they're about maybe $50, $60 cheaper than a good one, it will make a lot of foam. It'll be really hard to clean.
Really hard.
Whereas the real heavy-duty grinders, we can say the name of the one you have.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a good one. You can look at that, or at least get the idea. You pop
What
off
is
3
it?
pieces, you rinse it, it's clean, you put it back together.
AICOK. ICOK. ACOK. AI Coke. ECOK.
AICOK, ACOK.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
AICKO.
No, okay.
AICOK.
Yeah, see, okay. Hey, I see. Okay. Hey, I see. Okay.
You'll never forget it now.
Remember what that dumb guy on TV said?
TV. Okay, I wasn't done with the apple cider vinegar.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in the water in the beginning of the day on an empty stomach. On an empty stomach. And then at night as well. Again, on an empty stomach. So after the whole evening meal, no snacks, on an empty stomach before you go to bed. It's best, it's best if you do it either room temperature or the way that you would drink tea. Because then your body doesn't have to work so hard on cooling it down. It's already at a temperature that your body can handle.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you something about apple cider vinegar. So I used to do that, just take a couple tablespoons a day. But I used to get really bad pain in here when I took it.
Did you take it straight or did you take it with water, like I said?
Usually straight.
That's why.
Water is the way to go. Yeah, water is the way to go. And you usually get that kind of soreness in your stomach right here. It's because you're not used to it. And what it's doing is it's going in concentrated against a body that's full of mucus and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it starts breaking that all down, and your body goes like, wow, it's peeling all kinds of stuff off of here. It just feels a little raw. Mm-hmm. That's why it kind of feels like a little burning sensation.
Okay. Well,
okay, yeah, so mix it with the water. And I think, Olivia, I was talking about don't drink with your meals, and I think you had a question about that. The thing about drinking with our meals is, when that science class when you went to chemistry class, as soon as you walked into the chemistry class in high school, the teacher said, okay, put down your pencils, put down your pens, everybody look up here, look at me, hey, look at me, don't look around, look at me. If you get acid on your clothes, rinse it with water or you're going to burn a big hole in your clothes. If you get acid in your eye, rinse it with water. Because why? Water neutralizes acid that it can't burn and it can't digest. They're the same thing. Acid breaks things down so it can digest it. If you chew and you create a lot of digestive acids, there are all kinds of different digestive acids that come out. They're not the same. And they all, as they start out, you dump water on it, or a beer, or a Coke, or anything that's heavy water-based liquid, you're going to neutralize that acid. And the body will do the best it very much can to digest it, but it's going to be very incomplete and very difficult. Also, when you chew, help your body. 40 chews per bite. 40. Well, ice cream, no. But you know what I mean, yeah. So if you chew it really well, chew and chew and chew, and do an experiment as soon as you start eating, Sheila. Just go and say, Jeremiah said, I'm going to chew a piece of celery for 40 chews, see what it's like. You'll put a celery in a crack, crunch, chink, chink, strings, all kinds of stuff. Well, after you're at 40 chews, it's like, what is this? It's just like a completely changed, it's nothing I've ever had in my mouth before. It's coming like almost a sweet kind of cream of wheat. And that's what your body goes, good job. Break it down. Let's get started, guys. It's real quick. Okay. Well, we can let you guys go ahead and do your thing, but I'd like to hear back from you with your questions. You have no hurry. Tomorrow at noon is fine. We're good. No, I'm kidding.
Or if she's got more questions. Olivia, do you have more questions right now? She looks
any
very
question you want.
inquisitive right now.
I'm just taking it all in.
Vitamins and minerals will help you. Get a good source. Don't just go Nature's Sunshine that is in every single store, in every single pharmacy, in every single Walmart all over the country. Go to a natural health food store like Whole Foods. I know they're expensive. What's the other one that I like?
Sprouts?
Sprouts is great for good nutritional supplements. Trader Joe's has some, but it's not the quality of Sprouts. Sprouts is the best as a general store to go to.
Natural Grocers has some good ones.
I was going to say
right?
Natural Grocers.
Oh yeah,
also.
Natural Grocers. Yeah, I didn't know that's where you you might have that.
Well, they're in
area.
Phoenix, so yeah.
Natural grocers. They're good. I like natural grocers. They got stuff. You go in, you go straight past the cash register, go down to your right, and you're going like, oh, where'd you get all this stuff? They got a lot of stuff.
I was there today.
Oh, you did?
I was looking for my vitamins that my naturopath sells me. Some of them I can get on Amazon, but there's a few that aren't. And the vitamin guy, he said, hey, can I help you? And I said, well, I'm kind of looking. I showed him a picture because I took a picture of all my vitamins because I need some, like, for when I have like a couple left of some when I start taking them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes, no, those are only that you can get from your, naturopath or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he said there's a place, I'm going to check it out tomorrow if I have time. Downtown Gilbert, there's a place called Take Your Vitamins.
Okay.
And it's a holistic natural or nurse practitioner that works there.
Cute.
I'm going to go in there and see what that's all about. And that would be really cool because since I'm wanting to put that avenue in my being a nurse practitioner, I thought, wow, maybe this is going to be a connection I'll need in the future,
Perfect.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Good research. Remember to ask people questions that aren't like, well, how long you been a naturopath? You know what you're doing? Naturopaths are motivated to do good things. Doctors are motivated to do good things, but sometimes the system catches up on them. So one thing you go, well, I've got these vitamin C's. I'm looking for vitamin C. Do you have it in VeggieCap? He says, no, but we have it in capsules. Okay, are the capsules VeggieCap? No, they're just not. Well, what about tablet? And if he goes, well, tablet probably isn't your best way to take vitamin C. You know you've got a good one. If he's able to analyze capsules, gels, and tablets in front of you about his own products, you probably got somebody who's got a little bit more research done than most. Not just, this is a good one, this works. People love it. No, you're just making sales. Find out what they know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, remember, they're trying to do the best they can. They don't know everything. Okay. Good for you. Olivia, are you married or children or anything?
I have 2 kids, a son and a daughter.
Was that your little daughter that came out the other day with you?
She did.
Oh my gosh. I can adopt her, but I don't think Kendra would get along. But we'll just see. We'll get a dog. Never mind.
No, we're not getting a dog.
No,
either.
no dogs. Monkey,
no kids.
A giraffe.
We're past
We'll get a giraffe.
it. No giraffes.
Giraffes.
Maybe a dancing bear.
No, we can talk.
Okay, so apple cider vinegar twice a day. Juicing. Read the labels of your food.
Everything.
And if you can't pronounce it and you don't know what it is, go look it up. Go look up every single word that's on that ingredient list if you don't know what it is. And I promise you, it'll take you about twice of doing that when you'll decide, I'm not eating anything that doesn't have anything in it that I don't recognize.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's all mystery food.
It's all mystery, yeah. Mystery meat.
Yeah, mystery meat.
With the hex and pepperoni. I love your hair, by the way. I love it.
Thanks. I let my sister cut it off.
I think it's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
How long ago did you get it cut off like that? It's great.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Super cute.
Thank you.
Super cute. It looks so good on you.
I wanted to restart. So
I hear ya.
Here.
Yeah.
She's on a detox hair.
Good for you. You know, detoxing comes in lots of different forms, not just
Good
detoxing
subject.
your colon as what we've been talking about, but detoxing can be detoxing from let's just say toxic people, toxic relationships, toxic bullshit jobs, detoxing from the internet. Try to detox from the internet.
You're already addicted. We're all addicted to what are we going to do? Turn on YouTube? No. Shut it down. Sit in the room. I'm bored. No. Come out of that bored. Meet with yourself. Talk with your spouse. Talk with your friend. Talk with your mom. Create conversations that are meaningful. What's the next one, Sal?
No, I was going to stay on detoxing yourself like that. Detoxing from your phone and your internet. And even though, yes, definitely talk to the people that you love, but be with yourself. When I lived in Arizona, I used to go hiking every single Sunday at 7 a.m. I left my kids. They knew I was going up there. And sometimes I would be there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon by myself. not talking to anybody, not anything. Sometimes I would take, most of the time, I took my journal with me and I sat up on the top of South Mountain and just sat there by myself and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then I would throw away what I wrote. I don't want to read it again. I don't want to go back to it 2 weeks later or 2 years later. That's how I was feeling at that moment. But I would get it out on paper and I would be with myself.
That's pretty creative.
And that was one of the things that he, when he and I first met, I had asked him, have you ever, you live in Arizona, have you ever gone hiking? And he said no. So I ended up taking him hiking with me a couple of times. So that was a detoxy thing. Look what they...
That was a total detox. I feel so much better up on South Mountain.
Anyway, so you can detox also from sound. Literally go somewhere where it's just completely silent. Even if it's just for a few hours. It's not, that's not something you can really do for days at a time. But go somewhere where it's just simply silent. And take everything in your brain out and just see blackness for a little while. It takes a little while to get there, but that is a complete detoxy thing to do because you're literally not letting any of that energy, any of that garbage that is bombarding us every day, any of those thoughts that we can get roped into, we're not going to let them bother us today. So we just go detox by not hearing anything. He does it every day.
I don't think you can see them. They can see you. There you are.
Can you see me?
There she is. Now you are.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think I was on half of the
Oh,
screen.
okay. I want to
It's
make
just
sure.
This one,
Yeah. Okay.
'cause I'm recording, so I can send this to you after we're off the phone.
Okay. Yeah, sound is a big thing. I grew up in Alaska on a small island of about 80 people, and they were all Tlingit Indians, and that's where I grew up. And we learned in nature how to enjoy nature. And the most powerful sound, the most powerful thing I ever remember about being in Alaska, the sound is so powerful because there's none of it. It's absolute quiet. You can't even hear a sound. There's no sound pollution. And the silence is so powerful. It's just exhilarating. And so I kind of learned to, fast from sound.
Another detox thing that you can do is a form of fasting. So a person can do intermittent fasting or a juice fast or just like a watermelon fast, like a one food fast or all vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can choose one thing as long as it's from the earth. Not a hamburger or a bacon fast. That's not okay. But you could do so let's say watermelon, because a lot of people do watermelon or even cucumber fast, where for a certain period of time, and you set yourself a calendar alert that I start at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and I only eat cucumber when I absolutely need it until Thursday. So for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days, I'm only going to eat cucumber when my body calls for it. And I'm going to close out everything else, all of those hunger, demons that are trying to get at you. That's a great way to start shutting down and learning about hunger versus appetite.
Yeah.
Fasting.
Start looking into hunger, appetite. Whenever you start to eat anything, just listen to both voices. They're there. Come on. You don't really want a salad. You want pizza. You love pizza. Come on, just turn right here. It's just one block over here, and you can be in the pizza shop, and you get pepperoni and all that garbage with it. You're going to hear those voices. But you listen to the good one, the quieter one, the one that says, "Do the right
that's
thing."
what saying that to me. The voice that the craving is really loud.
Yeah, it's overpowering.
Craving is loud.
Screaming at you.
But
the sound of our appetite is quieter, and that would normally.
I mean,
go
hunger.
from
Hunger is quieter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Appetite
Yes.
is loud. Yeah. It is. It's obnoxious. Just really struggling sometimes. And the best thing to do is just get to where you're going, get what you're going to get, and get back in. As soon as you eat it, that other voice just stops, because you can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and mammon too, it says in the Bible. So you either will eat the food of the enemy or you'll eat the food of Yahweh God. And you can't serve both. And we have to make a decision now. Because things are really, in this earth, this world, are really, really, really getting to be questionable as to what our future looks like.
And Olivia, by making these changes right now, you're going to be able to raise your kids with these changes.
They're going to hear you.
They're
That's
not
my
going to
thing.
have a choice.
Yeah, and because my son, he's a terribly picky eater right now, and he'll be 4 at the end of the month, but he's just, I mean, it's almost impossible to get him to eat anything. And when he does, it's like tiny little bites of something.
And he loves cookies and cakes, and we're really wanting to
Get
reverse that.
him. Yeah.
You know, like my kids were like people were annoyed because my kids were the kind that they ate all they wanted the vegetables over other stuff.
Right.
But their dad and I used to cook a lot of good meals. But she cooks too. She's always cooking for her kids. So it's
Sure.
not that she's not
No,
trying.
I get
but
that. I totally get it.
I would guess that they had a good appetite. But I still incorporated everything else, the bad stuff too, because that was my life. And, I knew I didn't want to be overweight, but I just didn't do anything about it at the time. Years ago, I took that turn and lost the weight and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so
That's like my biggest fear, I guess, with like trying to do stuff. Because it's like I don't want to change just for me. I want to do it for my kids as well. But if he's not going to eat, then I have to feed him something.
Well, can I say something to that? Because I got kids too, and I totally understand what you're saying. But the stuff that he's willing to eat is causing him damage.
Mm-hmm.
So as he gets older, he's number one going to be addicted to sugar, as he probably already is. And we're all parents here, so I've had the tantrums on the floor because they wanted a cookie. I know what the cookie demon looks like. I get it. But one thing I also found was if I made something for dinner and this is what's for dinner, that's what you're eating. The end. You can scream and cry for a cookie if you want to, but I need to watch out for your health bigger than what kind of noise you're going to throw in my direction, because that's not my child. That's that sugar demon.
The other thing too is if you can see the taste buds get so perverted by the food that we eat that we just want sensation. Do you know how many taste buds we have? Nobody will tell you. Doctors won't tell you. Medical schools won't tell you. Biology, Jeremiah will tell you. You have 204 pair. Now that's a really weird number. 204 pairs of taste buds. I think that's the correct number, but I'm pretty certain it's it. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it.
Yeah.
But I always thought about that for years. Why do we have 204? I understand we have, so many bones in our body that's equivalent to the number of laws in the Mosaic Law. I see connections in numbers, but 204 is just odd. Until one day I was talking with my client. She was in one of them. She was in Oklahoma, and I was sending her a list of all of the valuable things that we can put in our body that the body wants when it's hungry. And I added up the number of minerals, the number of vitamins, and the number of trace minerals. And I went, wait a minute. Added those three up and it came out to 204. So our tongue is actually built to determine what nutrients we're taking in. It's kind of like what's the recipe for carrots, right? So it's like 2 parts, 3 parts, 9 parts. And so it gets that thing, and we're electrical, so electrical charge sends a charge to the brain, and the brain calls the stomach, hey stomach, yeah boss, I'm sending down something that's 2 parts, 3 parts, and 9 parts. He goes, got it. And then he goes to the rugae, and he sends an electrical charge, and there is neutral acid. The only place that neutral acid exists in the world is in the rugae of the stomach lining. And he sends that charge down there, and pow, he charges it to come out with 2 part, 3 part, 9 part. Now, if you eat potatoes, which is 16 part, 3 part, 1 part, he would send another message. And the rugae would go, boom, make a stomach acid, make a carrot acid. Now, make a potato acid. Oh, they're eating something else. Get in it reading. Okay, from the tongue it says, that's a bell pepper. Make bell pepper acid. So when we go to eat Thanksgiving, and here comes a turkey, a potato, a sweet potato, a potato salad, carrots, celery, lettuce, beets, bread, butter, peanut butter. I mean, all these things, and you eat it, and after you eat it, you go like, oh, I just feel like, oh, I feel terrible. I feel like I have stomach acid. You need an antacid. Now, that's the first time you ever heard the word antacid, and that was to stop the acidity because it's so confused with 60 things to digest. It's just manufacturing this crazy acid, and it's way too much. And you need an antacid to go in and stop that acid. And then in the morning, you got constipation because none of it ever digested. So our stomach is smarter than we are. Our bodies are smarter than we are. If we drink water, we want to make sure we don't ever drink it with a meal because you can't digest it. You want to keep your meals simple. The key to getting your kids to change their taste buds is fruit. Most people walk, I don't like fruit. What does that mean? You talking about banana, grapefruit, watermelon? Strawberry? What do you mean you don't like fruit? Look at the variants. Mm-hmm. We've been trained to not like fruit. Why? Because fruit was the thing we were given to eat in the garden. We never ate vegetables until everybody fell. Then they had to grow vegetables to supplement for the fall of the tree of knowledge also. So if you get them back to tasting fruit, say, taste this fruit and tell me which one you like better. Give them a scoop of papaya. Give them a scoop of mango.
Huh? He does love. He'll eat fruit all day.
There's your answer.
There's the answer.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Give them fruit all day.
Yeah.
That's not
fruits
sugar.
Cleanse, vegetables build, everything else clogs.
Yeah. Let them eat as much fruit as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? Fruits cleanse, vegetables build.
Fruits cleanse, vegetables build, everything else clogs up. Well, people say, well, how do you eat vegetables and you don't get your protein? Where's your protein? Don't you eat beef or something? I go, no. I said, well, name the number one animal in America that most Americans would say, that's the best source of protein. Most people say a cow, right? Or beef. I say, beef's are a big source of protein. Well, wait a minute. If your beef is your source of protein, where did he get all of his protein? He doesn't eat cats and dogs. He strictly grazes on vegetables. All the protein, especially the chain protein, like corn and rice, pure chain protein. Corn and rice and beans, pure chain protein. People who are really into building their bodies, not just looking like Igor the Goomba, they all know that they want to cut, streamline, and define. They're going to be vegetarians. Almost always. There are protein isolates, which are good. Isolates are good, but not the other ones. There's so much we need to learn. There's so much we need to understand. So
one of the shows I watched, because her and I really desire to be plant-based, so we were kind of educating ourselves on some videos. I'm sure you've watched them, like the forks over knives and all that.
Yeah.
And one thing I thought was so funny in there, that one guy, he's from like Ukraine or somewhere, and he's like the strongest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's lifting all